If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And
when that happens, or is it like... I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like,
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your...
I don't like nothing about him.
Terence Crawford and Tank have been clashing for a while, but no one expected how bad things could get if they met in person, until now.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147?
147.
Shit, I tap that trend, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know
he ain't got no chance.
It's almost fight week for Gervonta Davis, and as he wraps up camp for his 31st fight and 29th knockout, he and Roach sat down for a behind-the-scenes press meeting. The two faced off in a roundtable interview in Brooklyn, near the venue where the fight will take place. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford has been in New York since Keyshawn Davis's fight against Dennis Baroni.
Whoever, I told Tank know what's up. You know what I mean? He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. You know what I mean? He want to fight these guys.
The fight took place on Valentine's Day at Madison Square Garden, with Terence Crawford in attendance alongside Claressa Shields and other top boxers. Since then, Crawford has stayed in New York, planning to head to Saudi Arabia to watch Shakur Stevenson take on Floyd Schofield. Surprisingly, he showed up at the press meeting between Gervonta Davis and Roach, which quickly turned into a brawl after Tank confronted him over recent comments he made.
He would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Crawford admitted to making the comments and dared Gervonta to do something about it. But before Tank could react, Crawford made the first move, shoving him before security pulled them apart. So, what really happened? Here's the statement from Crawford that sparked their latest feud. The 37-year-old from Omaha has accomplished more than most fighters dream of since turning pro in March 2008, winning world titles in 4 weight classes and becoming undisputed at both super lightweight and welterweight. As he gears up for a mega fight against Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez later this year, Bud has sent a message to a reigning world champion, one he believes is too arrogant.
Arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards.
Speaking on the Cigar Talk podcast, Crawford didn't hold back on his feelings toward WBA lightweight champion Tank Davis, admitting he doesn't like the 30-year-old from Baltimore. "I just really don't like that dude. I really don't like him. I don't like anything about him. He's just one of these arrogant little dudes who uses what he's got as a shield. He's always surrounded by security, you know what I mean? He's in the limelight and all that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that." When asked if he at least respects Tank as a fighter, Crawford admitted, yeah, he's a damn good fighter, you know what I mean? I respect him as a fighter. He's got skills, power, and tremendous boxing ability. But his personality and the way he carries himself? Nah.
I know fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your...
A potential showdown between the two American stars seems unlikely anytime soon due to the significant weight gap between them. Crawford last fought at 154 pounds in August, and his upcoming clash with Canelo is set for 168 pounds. Meanwhile, the highest weight class Tank has competed in is super lightweight, though most of his success has come at lightweight, where he remains an unsolved puzzle for his opponents. With an undefeated 30-0 record, Davis holds the WBA title in a stacked lightweight division that is long overdue for unification bouts.
Limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways.
Vasily Lomachenko holds the IBF title, Shakur Stevenson owns the WBC belt, and Keyshawn Davis recently claimed the WBO strap with a brutal body shot KO of Dennis Baroni on Valentine's Day. Crawford was in attendance to watch his training partner take out Baroni and later told Fight Hype that Tank wouldn't fare well against either Keyshawn or Shakur. "Tank knows what it is," Crawford said. "He knows what he's up against if he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. He wants to fight guys that everybody knows won't give him a real challenge. They aren't mentally there. They might have some skill, but they won't be able to keep it up for a full fight. Shakur and Keyshawn, those are the guys who will hand him his first less y'all."
Into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like...
Both Shakur and Keyshawn share the same mindset and recently spoke about a potential showdown with Tank in exclusive interviews with Talksport.com. Keyshawn, full of confidence, compared a fight with Tank to the beating Crawford gave Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023 for the undisputed welterweight crown. "I see myself putting the same beating on Tank that Terence put on Spence," Keyshawn told Talksport.com. "His style is perfect for mine. I'm young, and I don't think it'll go the full 12, but if it does, I can fight all 12 rounds. I'm smarter than him inside and outside the ring. I'm just smarter than him, period. The only thing people will bring up is that one punch."
Everybody in the world know they ain't gonna give them no fight. They not mentally there, you know what I mean? They might have a little skills here and there, but mentally wise,
"I have power, and I've knocked fighters out with one punch, but he's done it consistently," Keyshawn continued. "We know he has that one punch, but we don't yet know what I truly have because I only have 12 fights and have only been fighting at an elite level for 3. My next fight against Baranchyk will be my 4th at this level, so there are still a lot of things people haven't seen from me yet. I'm better than what I've shown." Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson has been chasing a fight with Tank for years with no success and still doesn't understand why it hasn't been made. However, he knows the one person who can make it happen. He's the big superstar, the biggest name, the biggest pay-per-view attraction in boxing, Stevenson told Talksport.com. So, with him being the biggest name, it's on him to make it happen.
that whole fight. And them two guys right there, you know what I mean, is going to be the ones that, you know, give him his first L.
The ball is in his court. I can't say I'm going to send him an offer. Turi Alec can. Turi's got the money. I don't have the kind of money to send Gervonta Davis a big enough offer, Stevenson added. I don't know why the fight hasn't happened. He's a weird human being. I don't have much respect for him, to be honest. Tank returns to action on March 1st in Brooklyn against WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach. If he gets through the fight unscathed, he's expected to face one of the 3 champions next.
I got round 5.
Yeah, I got round 6.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah.
Lomachenko appears to be the frontrunner at this stage, as Tank's team approached the Ukrainian slickster for a fight last year. However, Loma chose to take some time away from the sport instead. Essentially, the clash between Tank and Crawford stemmed from what happened at the Ring Magazine Awards in London this past January, where Tank was one of the most notable absentees. Boxing's biggest names gathered in London for the Ring Magazine Awards, but a few notable figures were missing, none more prominent than Tank Davis. The ceremony brought together the sports elite, yet Tank, despite his undefeated 30-0 record with 28 knockouts and his announced retirement for 2025, was absent. He likely wasn't invited due to his rocky relationship with Riyadh Season and Turi Alec, who also owns Ring Magazine. It seems the lightweight champion wasn't too happy about being left off the guest list either. Davis voiced his frustration in several posts on his X account, though he later deleted them. However, Terence Crawford seized the moment to mock him, sparking an online dispute that carried on into Tuesday. Tank's displeasure was clear as he took shots at both the organizers and attendees in his now-deleted posts. While his strained relationship with the Riyadh Season team might have played a role in his absence from the Ring Magazine Awards, the exact reason remains uncertain. What is certain, though, is that he got a response. One that came from Terence Crawford. The two champions have been at odds for a while, exchanging jabs and taunts in the past. Reports suggest that Crawford, who recently met with Turi Alec, is edging closer to a blockbuster fight with Canelo Alvarez later this year. Taking a shot at Tank, Crawford laughed and posted, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring Magazine gala. I remember being left out too, that's why when they let me in, I crashed the party," followed by mocking emojis. Although Tank deleted his posts, some users managed to save them. To fully grasp why Crawford responded the way he did, we need to look back at what Tank had originally posted. Though Tank's posts were deleted, Some publications managed to capture and report on them. Why didn't they invite everybody? Davis questioned in his post. But they invited people they deal with. Get out of here. Stop bum eating. Seemingly taking aim at Eddie Hearn, he added, "Look at that little rat thinking he came up on something. Now tell them all to fight each other since they have a heavy roster." Tank also had words for Turi Alec, first suggesting that all the invited guests should fight each other, then criticizing the Sheik for not knowing anything about boxing. Tank's words appeared to be aimed directly at the head of Riyadh season. They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not good at anything. If he is, why isn't he building up fighters from where he's from? This guy knows nothing about boxing at all, and that's who they're turning to. In another now-deleted post from his X account, Tank doubled down, repeating his criticism. They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not. If he was, he'd be training people from his own country. This guy doesn't know anything about boxing, and that's who they're relying on. Tank then went on a rant about how, unlike him, many fighters are willing to leave American shores to chase a payday, only to end up fighting in front of barely noticeable crowds. The back and forth between Davis and Crawford stretched into Tuesday, seemingly because Tank bragged about having more money than Bud. Davis didn't take too kindly to Crawford's response and, in more since-deleted posts, called him out over how much he actually makes. "I still make more than you. Y'all think he's chasing greatness. He's not. That's just what he has to do to make decent money," Tank posted. Crawford fired back. "The first thing a rich fool tells another rich fool is that he has more money than him. I bet I have more investments than you, and I don't owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy anything I can't buy, sir, and that's a fact. Let's see who has money that lasts longer, smart boy." Tank responded with more insults, refusing to back down. Fans may find this exchange even more intriguing given Tank's bombshell announcement last year. During the Lamont Roach fight press conference, he shocked everyone by revealing that he plans to retire from boxing by the end of 2025. If Tank is truly retiring, many fans might question why he even cares about things like not getting an invitation. Still, this isn't the first time Terence Crawford has taken a shot at the Baltimore native. Shortly after his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. to become undisputed, the Nebraska southpaw heard Tank claim he could beat him at 147 pounds. Speaking on The Breakfast Club, Crawford acknowledged Tank's talent but made it clear there are levels in boxing. He didn't take the banter too seriously, but he sent a warning. If he comes up to 147 thinking he's just going to knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming. A showdown between these two American stars seems unlikely, but for Crawford, there's only one fight that matters right now: his upcoming battle against Canelo Alvarez.
Gave a little prediction on the fight, talked about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield, talk about the punch resistance. What do you think of Tank's assessment, man?
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are currently 3 weight classes apart, but they've competed in the same divisions before. Crawford started his career at lightweight, where Tank is now a world champion, then became undisputed at super lightweight, a division where Tank has also won a belt. Since then, Crawford has continued moving up, cleaning out welterweight before making his 154-pound debut last year. Meanwhile, Davis remains at 135, holding the WBA title and knocking out everyone in his path. Tank has previously claimed he would knock Crawford out, perhaps playfully, but the bigger man has warned him not to punch above his weight.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
So, okay. What about, everyone's talking about Errol fighting.
While a fight between them is highly unlikely, some believe it wouldn't be a foregone conclusion. In an interview with Real Life Productions, multi-division world champion Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts, clearly seeing it as a competitive matchup if the two met just under the welterweight limit. "That's a good damn fight," Jones said, giving Tank a real chance. "I don't see anybody around that's going to beat Bud unless they're way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that if he and Tank fought at about 145, that's a good damn fight, you understand me?"
Crawford, on the other hand, I don't see nobody around that's gonna beat Bud unless somebody way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that
because they both have very high IQs, and Tank is very explosive. That's the one thing Tank has that Errol Spence didn't. In boxing, an explosive fighter can go a long way. I was only able to move up the weights I did because I was so explosive. Explosiveness keeps people in check. For now, both fighters are focused on their own paths. Crawford is chasing a showdown with Canelo Alvarez, a fight that would require him to jump up 14 pounds, while Tank is set to face Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st at the Barclays Center. According to his latest press conference, Tank still plans to retire at the end of the year, but for now, fans can look forward to his next fight in Brooklyn.
when Tank fought at about 145, that's a good daggone fight. You understand me? Matter of fact, I'm saying that's a good damn fight. You understand me? Because they both have very high IQs, and Tank is very explosive. See, that's the one thing Tank got.
While Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is the fight that looks set to happen, Davis has now inserted himself into the conversation. Crawford and Canelo have reportedly agreed to terms for the mega fight, bringing together two of boxing's best pound-for-pound fighters. The deal is believed to have come together after both met separately with Saudi chief Turi Alec in London over the weekend, following a year of back-and-forth discussions. While most in the boxing world are excited to see Crawford and Canelo square off, one of the sport's biggest stars doesn't seem impressed.
If I'm easy work, I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
With Davis seemingly not a fan of Crawford versus Canelo, his coach Calvin Ford has also weighed in on how he sees the fight playing out. The debate over who would win between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford continues to heat up. It would be one of the biggest fights in boxing, featuring two pound-for-pound greats, though Crawford would have to make a massive jump in weight. Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, recently shared his thoughts on the matchup while speaking with Fight Hype, and he appeared to be siding with the Mexican superstar.
Terence Crawford, Canelo situation, do you think that's a fight where they could get to a weight that makes sense? Do you think that the weight would affect Terence Crawford?
Canelo's the king. Whatever he say, you understand?
Canelo is the king. It's a good fight, and I'd like to see it, Ford said. Canelo has been making some good moves for his fights. He also reflected on Crawford's performance in his recent fight at 154 pounds against Israel Madrimov, where he secured the victory but couldn't get the stoppage. It was his first fight. You can't say he didn't carry the power up there. He had to make adjustments. It's like when Benavidez moved up in weight. It's all about making adjustments. I hope Crawford gets another fight at that weight to show the world his power is there. If it's not, then we can start questioning it.
I'd like to see that fight, the outcome of it, you know what I'm saying? And then watching Canelo been making some good moves, as far as fights and whatnot,
And that's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, moments, events, and action, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications, so you never miss out on top quality content. Until next time, peace out.